Hey,
Hey,
what's
what are
up?
you doing?
Come
Welcome
on.
to the
Happy
chat.
birthday, Amir.
Thank
Yes,
you,
happy
thank you.
birthday.
Birthday boy.
And happy belated to Chanel, who snuck it in.
Yes, she did.
Thank you.
She did.
Getting old, Lord, I'm getting old.
You're
Hey,
getting better.
thanks for
Both of
being
y'all
here.
getting better.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, go ahead and I can't even get it out. Share as you're coming in. Make sure you hit share and let us know where you're tuning in from. You are here with us. The chat where our conversations are unscripted, unfiltered, and uncut.
Uncut. All right. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing great. I had
Yes.
to put some wine in my cup tonight. Don't forget, drink responsibly.
That's right.
These
So,
discussions.
Chick, are you
I
still
need a
on
little
tour?
drink.
Huh?
Are you still on tour?
I am.
You are. Okay.
Yes, I
All right.
am.
I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Me too.
She
I'm
feels
coming
like
to class. I'm coming to class when you get back.
she takes taping on location really seriously.
Yes.
Different locations around the globe. That's what she does. Yeah.
And I actually have something to talk to y'all about. I
can't wait.
I came across something that I thought would have been really interesting for us, but I will talk to you all about it. I think it'll be good, but we'll see.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good. So everybody had a good weekend?
Yes, actually, I did have a good weekend and actually a great week, and I will be moving on tomorrow. I'm a little sad about it, but it's okay.
You sound sad. I would say, yeah, you sound sad.
Yeah.
You not ready to come home?
I've been enjoying myself, and I really feel like every month I need to be doing something. I'm learning to like what I like, doing the things that I like, going and being, just doing the things that I like.
Good.
Wonderful.
I love it.
Yep, and seeing different
As y'all
things.
know, I mean, I celebrated my birthday. Went to Top Golf with some close friends, family. Just that place is a little. I wasn't sure how expensive it was, so I was kind of like keeping it small, and we ended up having a good time, and I think the price was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I did, because I don't know if you did like a party situation, because even I thought, I was like, okay, I don't know. Let me see about doing a party situation. And we did, it was like 15 people, like I paid, and then we only had to have like a $200 food limit.
Yeah.
It was very inexpensive, even doing like to me, like once paying for it was like 15, like I said, like 15 of us, we had 2 days, whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah. For what it was, I was like, oh, this is, I should have done a little bit more. I didn't know what to expect, and I ended up really liking it. So if you've never tried golfing, I suggest it. Smacking the golf ball is good stress relief, and it's not so intense like some of these other sports.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. Drinks are good, food is good, atmosphere is good.
I still have never been there. Have you been there, Chanel?
Yeah, I actually did my daughter's sweet 16 there.
Okay. And it's right here. I have never been.
And I mean, they pulled out all the stops. I mean, it was phenomenal. The staff was great. They just jumped right in on the Sweet 16 bandwagon. It was wonderful.
Oh, it's fun. Sounds like fun.
you definitely have
go.
to, if you go. Huh?
Will don't go without me.
Oh, I won't. Okay.
Yeah,
You have to definitely try the cauliflower flatbread or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
You say cauliflower?
Yes. You know what? Everybody tried it and they didn't even really know, and everybody was like, it was so good. It was really good.
Okay.
You have to, you definitely have to try it.
Okay.
So we got some juicy topics, huh?
Yes. I'm just excited to hear what Shanika has to share.
I'm telling you.
You want Shanika to start first.
But I got my little handkerchief and everything. I'm about
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. It's really not as deep, but it is. It
No
it can.
disclaimers.
All
No
right.
disclaimers. Just go.
Right.
Here we go. I have been on an on and off dating. Let me start over. I have been on and off dating this guy for 20 years. We decided to make it official and become a couple. Everything started off good. He would come visit me. I would go visit him, and things were amazing. We declared our love for one another and we were making things happen, although it was a long distance relationship. About 4 months into the relationship, his adult daughter, who was in her 30s, had to move in with him. Unfortunately, things switched up and he told me when I come into town, I would no longer be able to stay at his place because he doesn't feel comfortable being intimate with me with his daughter at the house. He also suggested I, in quotes, get a hotel when in town and he would make time to come see me there. When he comes to visit me, he comes straight to my home, no questions asked. I'm struggling with what to do. Please help.
I know what to do.
Deuces.
To the left, to the left.
So, okay.
I know, right? I'm here like, okay. Woo! But it's 20 years though, 20 years. So we got to consider that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. So 20 years, we made it official. The 30-year-old daughter decides to move in back home. She's moving back home.
Is she moving back home and in with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. She was dating for 20 years.
They've been dating on and off for 20 years, and then they made it official. Okay. About 4 months into them making it official, the adult daughter moves back into the home with him. He is now telling her that she can no longer come to the house. And when she comes in town, she has to get a hotel because he doesn't feel comfortable being in the house with her and his daughter there, or them being intimate when the daughter is there.
It ain't the daughter.
It absolutely is not the daughter.
Immediately.
It's not a daughter. She's 30.
She's 30 years old. Yeah.
She's busting it open herself.
They've been dating for 20 years. So that means that
that's the first problem.
Would have known about the daughter, right?
Yeah.
So if the lady knew about the daughter, cool. If she's like, he's never talked about him, then I start asking those questions. Yeah. So although I'm still suspicious for that reason, I'll give credit because I don't hear that part.
I think that she's familiar with the daughter. I think that she's familiar with the daughter, and that, but she's just stating that she's moving into the home. The daughter just moving into the home, and but why fucking make it weird? I'm sorry. Like, why is he making it weird?
It's uncut.
Why are you fucking making it weird?
But okay.
He's making it weird because that's not the daughter.
Yeah, that's not.
Because all of a sudden you take back your invitation for me to be at your house because you have a 30-year-old daughter there. That makes no sense.
Because
you don't want the convenience. You don't want the convenience of me coming to your place like I always have.
Yeah.
Right. And then what really got me is she didn't say that he suggested that he would, like, if you come in town, I would pay for you to get a hotel. He said you can get a hotel and I would come. Like, that was already a no-no for me. I'm not coming to visit your ass and I got to get a hotel because you don't want me at your house and you are not paying for me to get a hotel. Oh, no. No.
Something's wrong, right? Something's got to be wrong here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. This is what I'm imagining.
Oh my
God.
Right. Hey, that might be his daughter, but I'm just kind of like, so we don't have any more context, right, Shanika?
No, that's all I have.
Okay.
All I
have.
It's
a red flag for sure. I agree.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to figure out what does she want us to do? What are we trying to solve?
Okay, so basically, like, what would we do? What do we suggest? What do we think? What do we?
I would oppose that. I would definitely ask for an explanation, and if I can't get the explanation that I want, I would be out. Because over 20 years, even though they're just making it official, they should know for over 20 years that there's something going on. There should be no need for her to be hidden, or if she's 30 years old. That sounds like BS to me.
Right.
And she knows that. She absolutely has to know that.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think we all were on the same page. Like that can't be his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm like, now you got to see.
So,
It's not.
So now we have to figure out: is it the ex? Is the ex back in the picture, or he just needs
that's the one he really wanted because he never scooped you up in 20 years anyway.
Right.
Yeah, right. In 20 years. God damn. I mean, we made it official. That's cool, but I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Maybe it's a half truth. Maybe
she made it official.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like what? So yeah, first of all, I'm already. I mean, I'm obviously married, but if I've been together with Fabian for 20 years and there ain't nothing else, like we were just on and off. It's never happening. Why would I make it official after all that?
After 20 years, right?
Yeah, there's no reason.
And I just feel like if you have a free image, you could come to my house anytime you want, and there's no questions asked. Like I feel like that should be reciprocated. If I can't just come to your house, because if we're making it official, I would almost be willing to say you have a key to my home and I have a key to your home. And if if that's not where we are with it, then I'm just like, no, I'm like, no, like, and my daughter being there is like, okay, your time is going to be like limited, like not unless you really just hit on hard times, but I need you to be working on trying to go back wherever you was at.
Yeah, I mean, because
to disrupt what I got going on here, because I'm sure to believe that if her father were to come and live with her, he's not going to disrupt what she has going on. I don't necessarily think that she would show him the same courtesy by not having male companions or whatever at her home just because her father is there. Yeah. I may be wrong, but I just don't.
No, I think it's true, because at the end of the day, whose house is it? So if it's his house, he has every right to do whatever he needs to do with his relationships. But if he stayed with her, I could feel that. Like I feel a little uncomfortable. It's my daughter's house. I'm not trying to do all that. But the key is that he's specifically talking about them having sex in the story, and that doesn't mean she can't come over. The way she's making it sound as if, and I'll find the time to come and visit you at the hotel, which means she's going to fly to his city and hang out in the hotel lobby, singing R. Kelly.
Hoping he will find the time.
Right.
I hope he finds the time to come visit me. Huh? Yeah. Now, I understand if he don't want to have sex in the house with his daughter in the house. That's cool. But y'all not hanging out in the house?
Right.
Yeah, like you don't even want me.
Yeah, she can stay on the couch.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, something ain't right.
So many questions.
It definitely is. It's so many. So okay, so our suggestion is ask more questions, and if it still doesn't sound right,
hit it.
My suggestion is just bounce and get you a life.
Just go through it.
20 years. It was doomed before he even made it official.
I just don't feel like it takes that long.
Just like Fabian said, he has no interest. Like 20 years, he played along with make it official, probably because she was, acting away.
I guess she pressured him into it, which is worse. And I mean, people might want to, they say that nowadays they need to apply pressure, in order to get what they want in a relationship. And I mean, that's cool, but 20 years, that's how much pressure can you put before you just choking them out?
No, it's time to go.
Official, right? Like, dang. And I mean, hey, sometimes things change. And I mean, she said on and off, which implies that maybe she wasn't taking it serious anyway, as well. Maybe she didn't take him serious like that. I'm not saying that so she won't
appear as gullible.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if there's more to this story. I just, I mean, I don't really feel like everybody is going to always give you 100% of really what is happening. You know what I'm saying? What more is underlying? Because like I again have questions about like why were y'all on and off for 20 years? Like what was like what kept y'all from making it official long ago? Like why are y'all not? Why was it been a 20-year back?
Because we're gonna find out like 10 years ago he flew her out and never picked her up from the hotel. Right. Or the airport. You know what I'm saying? Like that this has happened before. She doesn't want us to know that. which, you know, maybe it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody else have any of our audience members have anything else to say about this? I really wish it was like, you know, I mean, Amir and Will have answered it, but are there any other guys that are happen to be watching or anybody who's sitting next to a guy that could answer this? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a weird situation, and I don't know, but keep sharing. And if you happen to be catching this after 8 o'clock, this is the replay. So please hit replay in the comments. All right.
Who's next? Anybody? Okay, I'll go. It's very deep. Should I go deep or should I go light first?
No, let's go deep. Deep
and dark. Okay, deep and dark. All right. So as I was alluding to the fact last week that you know, in the Black community, especially in my family, nobody wants to go in a nursing home. Everybody's always talking about when they get old, please don't put me in the nursing home. But the reality of the fact is sometimes that's the best place. So I was looking on, I want to say it was like a Cosmopolitan magazine or something. And there was a story about this guy. The name of the article was, "Are you bad for putting your parent in assisted living?" Which I guess is a little bit different than a nursing home. It says, so the guy was faced with his mom who was, I guess, getting dementia. And he said that he was dealing with the fact that he was putting her in the home would make him feel like he had failed his mom. And then he said all his mom's friends and family members were making him feel bad about himself and like he was a bad child and that he had given up on his mom. He said what really led to the decision for him to put her in the home was, number one, he said it was three things. The physical impact, which she needed around-the-clock care, going to the bathroom, bathing, getting dressed, and eating. And he said it would have been a second full-time job. The financial impact, he said, potential caregivers report having to borrow from their retirement, borrow from friends or family, and take extended time off of work. Some people even had to quit their jobs. And the emotional impact, the stress can lead to unhealthy behaviors like drinking, smoking, and even more. So what I want to know is, do you guys think it's fair for a child or a family member to be expected to take full-time responsibility for a parent or elderly family member, even though, you know, they may have to sacrifice everything, their career, their family, their livelihood, their goals and dreams? Do you think that's something that we owe to them? Or do you think that that should be something that we make plans for, provision for our old age, and, you know, being able to take care of ourselves, or at least contribute to our care should something unexpected happen? What do you guys think?
Well, I'll start. First of all, I'm at the. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the pastor that's going. He was going to. Well, he was kind of not streaming, but kind of popular this week, and he was basically saying that, you know, we tired of having fish fries to bury people, right? Yeah. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I feel like, you know, people need to prepare for those sorts of things, because everybody is not in the position to bring their loved ones, parents, children, you know, or things like that into the home to have proper. And sometimes, to be honest with you, depending on hospitals, and I'm seeing hospitals are not even recommending that you bring, you know, they could say, no, this person needs to go to a long-term care facility and not in your home. You know, so sometimes you don't even have the option to bring those people into your family members or whatever into your home. Do I think that you should feel obligated? I think that it's really situational. I think it's really situational. For me, I would like not to have to put my mom into in a nursing home or a long-term care facility. I would like not to do that. But if she's requiring more than what I'm able to offer, then I would. But I would definitely have to see her every day. I would definitely, because a lot of things happen. I mean, I don't know if you all remember the story of the family who had their daughter in the facility. I think it was like a couple of years ago, and the daughter, who she could feel, but she couldn't speak, and she was one of the guys in there raped her, and she was pregnant. So, and they just thought that, like they noticed that her stomach was hard and different things, but they didn't recognize or realize that she was pregnant until she had that baby. And so, it's all those sorts of things. And you hear the trauma, not the trauma, but the horror stories of people being abused, and I know of some people that's happened to, being shifted one place to another. They're getting dropped, or, or they go in one way, and then as you go see them, they're not getting bathed. They're not, their items are being missing, and they're, now their hands are folded or closed because nobody's, that really physical therapy is really not coming in. They're sitting in soiled clothes. It's all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I think it is situational. I think that Walter and I are preparing to have our parents at our home. I would really prefer not to put them in nursing homes, but that's on me. And I'm not obligated. I don't feel obligated. I don't feel like my mom is like, don't put me in a nursing home. But
she just said, don't let me die. She said, just let me die at home.
But she's never said, y'all better not put me in a nursing home. You know what I'm saying? She's never made us feel like not to put her in a nursing home.
Mom says that all the time.
And I say that to Asia. I'm like, don't put us in no nursing home, girl. But I think that Walter and I have made provisions, as you said, where we could have a staff. You could have a staff person come into the home and take care of us, where you wouldn't need to do that. I think we have set it up so that way. So but anyway, not every family.
What do y'all say? And what do you do when? Well, go ahead. This is the second part. Did Chanel and Amir have something to add to it?
Yeah. So for me, I wasn't told don't do that, don't put me in it. But I always kind of saw it as it really depends on the condition, because there's levels to it, right? If people, depending on their health, it's like, okay, am I just helping them up and down the steps, or is it, I might turn around, and if I left the door unlocked, will they walk out and not know how to get back home? You know what I mean? Like, it's two different scenarios where I've got to recognize my level of ability to be a caretaker. And this is somebody I really care about. These are my parents. So I don't want to, and I'm not saying that I can't take care of them, but, if it depends on what their condition is. And if it's something where I'm like, I literally cannot take care of you, depending on my circumstances. And because I care about you so much, I need to hire a professional to do it. And unfortunately, a nursing home, it just kind of seems like a scary place to leave my parents. And, that's how it is. I think with my grandmother before she passed, she was in my parents' home and living with them. But her condition, she was recovering. And it wasn't like, she knew who we were. It wasn't like that. She wasn't totally unable to do anything. And so, of course, when she passed, it felt good to be like, well, we took care of her. We didn't have to go and visit her in some, room, and, she was just there by herself. And that's how I would prefer. I want it to be like that, where it's like you're able to pass away in your home. And with my children, I'm definitely not going to say that to them, because I feel like just that attitude itself almost lends to them feeling like they got to put me in the nursing home.
Right.
Honestly, because I feel like that's already bad enough. And if my mind starts going away, I'm probably going to say some wild stuff.
Well, my mama, I've been telling her for the last 10 years, you keep on. I ain't going to choose a pretty one. You keep it out, boo. Good one, bad one. What you want?
Which one?
Well, I just don't feel like anybody should feel bad for the decisions that they make for their life, personal life, for their family. Nor do I agree with people feeling obligated or burdened. Your life belongs to you. That's how I feel. So I am not opposed to my mom staying with me as long as I can support her. Like Amir said, there are levels. But I'm only one person. And when we get to the point where like the person, like the letter said, when you get to the point where there's 24-hour care needed, dementia is progressing, you're still able to walk around, but your mind is gone. You're turning on stoves, you're going out the house, we got to hide the keys, that becomes a safety issue. And like Shanika said, there comes a point where families want to take their loved ones home from the hospital, and the hospital say no, based on the situation at home. Because if the hospital identify that somebody needs around the clock care, and then care coordination look at the family and say, okay, how are you going to provide this? Because they ask.
Right.
And they say, well, we don't know. Well, as soon as you decide to take your loved one home because they can't stop you, they're going to call APS to follow up with that. So like Shanika said, it may not be safe. It may not be something that they recommend. But I think, like Amir said, it's levels. And I am not opposed to it, but I will visit quite frequently.
Frequently. I think for me, my strong suit is I'm good. I'm good at providing. I'm not the caretaker in the family. So when it comes to my parents, I think my parents know that I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of. As far as me personally bringing them up in the house, depending on my situation and their situation, as far as health-wise, I know they can depend on me having them in the best facility possible. I know they can depend on me overseeing their care. I know they can depend on not having to worry about abuse, neglect, and all of that kind of stuff. But Justin is the caretaker, but he brought up a good point. What do you do when, and we personally seen this, when one person wants to bring the family in the home and the other person is against that? We've personally seen that going on.
I've seen that too. And you mean two people live in the same home.
He's like, that's grounds for divorce. I'm like, oh, I guess it is grounds for divorce.
Absolutely.
The whole dynamic, not that their person's wrong, but in that becomes a joint decision that needs to be made. Correct?
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And it's funny because Walter has never really said, like, he's repeated it after I've said it, but he's never the one, the first to say, like, we're getting a house and we have said, okay, we're going to move like within a 5-hour radius of our parents, but he's never been like, okay, I really want to, I can bring our parents in our home. It's always been me. Like, I'm always like, okay, we need to get a space big enough. Like if Asia needs to come home, or if we need to bring one of your parents here or my parent here, like we could take care of them. Because we just assume, like, he has 4 other siblings and I have 2 other siblings. We have just put in our minds, like, these people are not going to take care. I don't care. And I'm taking on a responsibility that nobody has asked me to take on, for his parents and for mine. So sometimes I do just think that we just automatically, it's kind of like, okay, I would be the one to take on the responsibility of these other people. Now, I will say that when I did go home for 3 weeks to take care of my mom with her arm, like, it was a very difficult task. And at that point, I realized that I am not a caregiver. Like, I will hire.
You're a nurturer.
Huh?
You're a nurturer by nature.
I can, yes, and I can be there, but I was not like, I like things for me, like when she got up to go to the bathroom, whether it was like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, I was like, let's go ahead and get your bath out the way. Because you're already in the bathroom. It's no sense to keep going back and forth. I don't know if she was ready to get a bath, but I'm like, I
was about to say that. Maybe she was.
Like, let's just go ahead and get,
you're like, come on, let's do it all because I'm tired.
Yeah, let's get it all taken care of. It was a lot. Like, it was a lot that was required for her because she only, she didn't have use of the one arm. So, things had to be purchased. It had to be set up for her to be able to grab things and have security in the tub. And it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I mean, it wasn't even like she was bed bound, or any of that. But like, we had to have a recliner because she had to sit in a recliner. So we had to go and find, because, it was certain, it was some things that we had to prepare for prior to her having that surgery. And just on that alone, like, it was, it was definitely a task.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know, but I did realize I was like, I don't really think in my mind. I was like, it bothered me a little bit because I'm like, I don't think I'm really a caregiver. I don't, to have to feed this person, make sure this person eats, make sure this person drinks. Did you go to the bathroom? Did you take your medicine? Let me, situate out everything. Let me make things easier. Let me prepare meals. Let me, it's a lot. It really is a lot.
I left a lot of information out of the article because it was really long, but he was talking about how his whole life was changing before he really made the decision. He was like, goals that he had set for himself, all that had to stop. And, he went to school, he had his mind, he was career set, all of that paused for a while. And he was just thinking, he wasn't doing himself any good, and he definitely wasn't doing her any good because he couldn't be there 100%. So that's a lot of stuff that needs to be considered when you're thinking about, because a lot of sacrifice involved.
This is my husband's mentality right here. So that's why he never really suggests that, well, Shanika, we don't even have to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's really unfortunate that people get abused in those situations. But I do think it's kind of unfair because there's professionals, but those things can happen no matter what, right? I mean, as Shanika just said, and obviously I'm not saying you would do this, but if you're ill-equipped and you're like, man, like, I don't think I'm even a good caretaker, you might be abusing your parent who you care about, and not like intentionally, but you might not like saying, oh man, I forgot to feed them. Right. Like, that's horrible if that happens in a professional setting. So it doesn't make it better because they're in their home, right? Like, I feel like if I'm in that position, part of me is like, my ego is like, nah, don't put me in a nursing home. I built this house from the ground up. I haven't built a house, but I'm just saying in the future, hopefully, right? Like, I'm going to stay here until I pass. But then my rational side is saying, man, go to them professionals and let the nurses take care of you, man. No matter what my ego says, it's like, if I can't get up out the bed by myself or take a shower by myself, just do it for me. I'm paying you. Shoot. I know a lot of people who are in the caretaking business and they're nice people. I can't do it. Nah, you're not going to see me in a nursing home doing it. They couldn't pay me enough.
Yeah, you know what? It's this Kiana just said, being a caregiver is hard on that person as well. But you have some people who just don't want to see their loved ones away from them when they are going through the elder life. So it is definitely a hard decision. And I definitely have something to say about this. Because even when I was taking care of my mom, it was still a part of her that was like, okay, this is my privacy. Like, this is my private, like, so it was still a part of her that was still prideful that she didn't really want me to be all in her space, and it's like, well, okay, but I need to help because you can't do it by yourself. So, I mean, I totally get that. Sometimes, even with taking on the responsibility of an elderly person, I don't know why sometimes it's easier for somebody they don't really know to take care of them than it is for their children to like have to bathe them, to have to, all of those different things that, we may. So, even though we, we have those thoughts, you have to wonder what they're thinking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you better off? Do you want to be at home with us, or would you rather be in a nursing facility? Because I mean, I know a friend right now that her mom is pretty much like, I don't want to go home. Like, I want to be in, they're nice here. They're taking care of me. I'm getting meals. They're looking after me. I don't want to go home.
All right, she could play Xbox. That's what I want in my nursing home. I need a PlayStation. I'm going to be virtual reality.
The thing about it with Justin working at a nursing home, he said the whole staff, they know which residents, their families are more involved, and which residents hardly get visitations. So you can tell who's getting the best care. Not to say that he's of course he's caring for everybody the same. They know, okay, their family always coming in. They always come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, blah blah blah.
Right.
So because Amy had just said she's heard horror stories about it, and the thing is, you gotta if you're gonna put them in a home, you gotta make sure that you're present and that you're engaged.
Right. Exactly.
you do, and don't and keep in mind that the healthcare, nursing home industry is a staffing crisis. It was a crisis. It was a crisis before COVID. It's been an issue for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that here recently, the state of Virginia, like the General Assembly, laid it out on the table to do mandated staffing ratios in long-term care facilities, and that was strict. It was struck down. They do have it like in states like Florida. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they do have it in Florida, where it's a set, standard for staffing. It's ratios like patient to, nurse or patient to aide. But yeah, there's staffing issues everywhere.
Wow.
And it does impact care. And like Justin said, unfortunately, those residents or patients that have very, very active families are priority patients.
Our priority patients, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So another so Kiana says, my sister did it for our grandmother, and I saw the toll it took on her, and I am not sure if I could have done it mentally. There was also a lot she had to learn to be a caregiver. I also tell my mom, I don't know if I could do it, but I would definitely pay for someone to do it. That's kind of where I was at with it too. Fabian says they do not pay them nearly enough, and it's not easy work. A lot of my family members work in those facilities. Yeah, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it is definitely a lot of work, and it does become a little bit easier, I think, when family members do come in and take the kind of like the loads, like, okay, I'll give her a bath while I'm here, or I'll wash her hair while I'm here, or him, whatever, or I'll, feed them, just to take a little bit of some of the work off. And I think that in the long run, those patients probably do get a little bit more care because you've taken the load off of somebody else, in retrospect, I guess. But yeah.
All I know is that if any of them old white people just uttered a word that starts with an N.
Oh, they do it.
I don't care if it was they just said never under their breath. I don't know what it is. I'm quitting.
He's telling me many
quit.
I
gotta
quit. Do you know how many times I'm gonna call the N-word a fat deal?
It don't make it okay. Shit, it don't make it okay. Because I'm like, yeah, okay.
Y'all terrible. You have because this person is demented. Think about it. They 90 years old. They're asleep.
Not everybody.
They don't know any better. They do not.
Some of them.
The younger ones are different. But that little 90-some-year-old lady who
trapped back in the 50s, mentally.
They say the blacks.
Yeah.
The blacks.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So okay. I want to give us a little bit, because I found out, guys, that when we're on, there's a little bit of a lag in us. So we're talking, but it's a little bit of a lag when people see it. So,
of course.
Yeah, give
we can tell by these comments, right? They take
you
want to look.
That's why I found that out from my friend that I'm visiting, that she told me that.
Okay.
And I just realized that. Yeah. So Laura, I've seen some bad nursing homes. All my grandparents were in one, and some of them really didn't check up on my grandparents like they should have. Rosalind says both of my parents remained in the home until their death. It was extremely hard, but we could see it no other way. Yeah, so people, people to each his own, and people make the decisions, and I do think that, again, I've seen it both ways. I know someone who has a friend who's in the nursing home, and she fell, and she's paralyzed on one side, but they would not allow her to go home unless she had a live-in person in her home.
24 hours a day.
Yes, she's still in the facility because she cannot do for herself. And then her siblings, who were initially helping her, they're older. They're about the same age as her, or if not older, and they couldn't take care of her. So she's still in the facility. And although she's in her right frame of mind, she just cannot move on one side of her body. So the facility was, she had to stay there. She has to stay there. So, but it's very unfortunate. Those sorts of things are very unfortunate. And then, to find, and to trust someone to come and live in your home full time, you have to make sure they're not stealing from you. They're not, stealing your things. They're not taking, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes through.
You have to make sure they're actually watching your person.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. But
sleeping with your husband.
Yeah. Oh no.
Right.
That sounds like you got a story for us on that one.
Right. All right, so I do have. I mean, I don't know. Amir, Chanel, do y'all have?
Chanel, you had something, right? I was too busy celebrating my birthday.
Yes, I mean, you definitely get a pass. Chanel, you have.
You get the creeping with your husband. Well, I don't want to say creeping.
What else is it? I guess out in the open.
Okay, just answer this one question for me. And I have a really, really juicy letter for next week.
Okay.
But answer this question for me as a lead-in. Is it ever okay to date a married person? Now keep in mind, some people marry for the wrong reasons. You know, some people are in loveless marriages.
Are you actively married?
What you mean?
What is that?
I mean, it's one of those situations where we've been separated for years. We just haven't got divorced.
No. You playing the role. You actively married. You in the home.
So you and your spouse are in the home together, and they are dating somebody else.
Yeah, like adultery.
Knowingly or unknowingly? Does the spouse know or don't know?
That's the answer to the question. She said, "Is it ever okay?" So that
means under any just go beyond adultery is wrong. Like really think about the different types of marriages there are. You know, different reasons people get married. People stay married for certain reasons other than actually being in love or wanting to be with that person. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts are, of course, it's wrong, and mainly because I'm saying there's no, I can't think of any reason why the person who's married should be dating with somebody. I mean, and it's a risk, you know, the person who's dating them but isn't married, you know, the person who's from the outside of the relationship, if they're dating them, you know, they have all the benefits, no consequences beyond maybe the significant other trying to murder them. Other than that, you know, it's just kind of like low risk, right? But I mean, the married person is just like, why? You know, why even date? Why date somebody? You're already married. And I always feel like the story we typically hear is, oh, you know, my stupid wife, she just won't sign those divorce papers. Well, you know what? Why don't you stay in a hotel and I'll drop by and find some time to visit you.
That part.
Yeah.
I say, so like I think it was last week when I said,
bless you, by the way.
Thank you. To gauge if it's right or wrong. If that's not a person who can come to the house when your significant other or your spouse is there, then it's probably wrong. But if you guys have some type of agreement going on that y'all can do whatever, and they can come to the house when that person's there and it's peace, then sure, go ahead and date that person. That'd be a good way to be able to gauge if this is somebody you can date.
Look Shanika's face right now. I feel like the loading signals going on.
Yeah, I mean, because like she said, there are a whole bunch of different types of relationships. I mean, I proposed some crazy things. They all got shot down, but you know, if that's the situation, if y'all have discussed that, you know, because I'm still back. What was it, 2 seasons ago with the respectful cheating?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We did talk about that.
So I mean, I feel like the right answer. I mean, if there was a right answer, I feel like the right answer, the most respectful answer would be like, no, it's never okay to date somebody who's married.
Of course, on the surface.
You know what I'm saying? But the realist in me and the realist in us all knows that it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, again, knowing or unknowingly or unbeknownst to you, you know, you can either know or you cannot know, but it still happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, the truth of the matter, it happens. It happens. Now, going back to what Will just said 2 seasons ago when we talked about respectful cheating, now I think that's the second part that should be to that question. Like, are you going to be married and you're going to respectfully cheat? Meaning you're not going to be in our home, because I mean, I don't know about y'all. I don't know if y'all just saw the story about the man.
Yeah, the shot.
Right.
What happened?
Bam, bam.
The military guy who came in the house and his wife was being intimate with another guy, and he shot him. But before he shot him, he said, "What am I doing wrong?" and he shot him 3 times.
So the man that was shot asked the husband, "What am I doing wrong?"
The husband said,
"Oh,
what am I doing wrong?" And then he shot he shot the wife's boyfriend 3 times. Now, and I'm saying boyfriend because that's how they listed him when the article was written, like the boyfriend, her boyfriend. That's what they said. Now, and then they said that the husband and the wife, anyway, the husband and the wife shared a home together. So
did he kill her?
Huh?
Did he kill her?
No, he didn't kill her.
Oh, dumb man!
Yeah, it just says he killed her, the guy.
Yeah, and he killed.
Yeah, something to do with it.
And so my thing is, and then I was talking to Walter about it. Walter and I were talking about it, but I mean, I think that again goes back to even the conversation that we had last week. It's like, okay, like if you this is what you're gonna do, we're not going to do this in our home. If we're not going to stay together, or we need to stay together for whatever, like we're not going to be intimate with somebody else in the home that we're sharing right now, because can't neither one of us afford to get a place outside of this. So, people probably don't like my response, but my response really is it's the reality of it. It's happening. People are doing it.
So just a little clarification for that story. He said when he was being arrested, he asked the officers, "What am I doing wrong? Did y'all get the gun I shot him with?" Basically saying, "Why y'all arresting me? He was sleeping with my wife. I killed him."
Yeah, and there's 2 different. Yeah, because I read that one too, and then it was another one that was like he was asking. So I don't really know which one of those is like really the one, because I read both of those. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, and there's a part of me that feels like he probably was like, yeah, like what am I doing wrong? Because he in my house. And then because
he was invited. So.
Exactly. Yeah,
and the funny thing about that is that guy was not. He was also in the military. He was not stationed in the area, so he was stationed somewhere else. So he had to come from wherever he came from to visit her, and then like so because I was like being nosy because I was like I need to see because I wanted to see her, but of course I can't find a picture of her or whatever, but. There's a lot of support for him. The guy who shot the guy, it's a lot of support. Like there's a GoFundMe, like people are like raising money to get him legal, some legal help, and so there's a lot. So he,
her infidelity don't make it okay for him to be a murderer.
No, absolutely not. But it just really triggered for me, like
because people get caught up. What if she had been dating him for a while and he actually had feelings for her or something?
And he what?
And he had like feelings for her. Like what if he thought it was a relationship? And now he's dead.
Well, I don't ever think infidelity is a reason to kill anybody, but. Right. We don't know what state of mind that man was in either.
Right, Tiana. Exactly. And not his wife. So now what's going to happen? He going to go to jail. She was cheating. So she knew exactly what she was doing. So he done killed the guy, didn't do anything to the wife. He going to go to jail. She going to still end up with his shit. Stupid ass. If you're going to kill him, not to say this is what you should do, but bitch, kill both of them. Both of them had something to do with it. Or get your pictures that you need. She won't get nothing. And then you leave and go find somebody else that want you.
Right.
But you don't kill one of them, leave the other one. She's gonna end up with all your stuff. That was a crime of passion. He wasn't thinking straight.
No, because I mean, even looking at his picture, and like I said, going back, digging back, and looking at what he was looking at, like to me, when I saw his picture, he had been going through. Because evidently
she didn't know he was coming home, so he thought he was surprising her. He thought it was going to be on for him.
I think that is the worst thing you could ever do. That is so. Why would you bring somebody home to the home you share with somebody? I mean, I just don't understand why people do that.
So it looks like he was charged with 2nd-degree murder. So I'm assuming that they also agreed that it was a crime of passion. That he clearly had. They said it doesn't seem like they have any evidence that he was like, oh, I know she was cheating, and he tried to catch her. I think he really just walked in and was like, what?
What? Baby, I'm home.
What she said is, why was his problem with the dude and not his wife? If he killed his wife, I think a lot of people will have less sympathy which is crazy, right? I'm not saying that, but you know, in a way, I think it's kind of like he was protecting his home, right? Because you're still married. You married, you're a unit under law. If you kill your significant other, no matter what, under law, like that's a significant.
But how are you protecting your home and your wife is laying comfortably up under some man? It's not like you fighting him off of him.
No, I agree.
He's not protecting him. I'm not buying he's protecting his home.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I feel like the traditional law kind of looks at it that way. Like if he killed his wife, then that's wrong, right? And let the guy go.
To me, I think that's gonna play against him.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you do nothing? Did he pistol whip the wife? Did he do anything, or did she just get up, put the clothes on while he
called the police and said she feared for her life?
Right.
She called the police.
She had time to do all that.
Yeah, he didn't even harm her.
Oh,
as far as I can tell. So right. And that's kind of what I mean by, you know, he killed the guy. I don't know if he knew she was cheating or not.
And I'm not trying to.
Did you know him? Did you guys research? Did you have any type of dealings with him?
That's
blah 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 blah.
Maybe they were in a relationship.
Okay, and I know this is petty, and it's probably real petty, but I want to see. Okay, so I'll just leave it. I just want to see a picture of her. I just want to know. Are
you trying to see if how she looks? So you cannot like her photo on Facebook? Shanika wouldn't even like her photo.
I want to see what you gotta look like to have somebody kill for you.
Yeah.
No, I just want to know if she's white or black. Like that's what I just want to know whether. Because in my heart, I believe that she's white. It's in my heart. I just feel like she's white. That's what I just feel like.
That I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna keep my mouth.
In my heart.
Like, in my heart, and I could be wrong, and I'm gonna piss a whole lot of brothers off. But that just don't seem. He black.
He is black. But the guy that she was messing around with was not black. He was like he looked like he was could have been like Mexican or not.
I pictured that too. I pictured that.
I knew that he was black. I just cannot see anybody other than a black man killing another man over a woman.
Oh yeah, but the guy that she was messing around with, like he was not. He was like of another nationality, like Latina or something. Like he didn't look black.
Well, she was the other. She was the other.
I don't know. I can't find a picture of her. Not her name.
I've already visualized them. I'm gonna go with my picture.
Yeah, I think they're hiding that for privacy because maybe someone else is trying to harm her. I would say, but you know, Chanel, I'll give you this. Although our media makes it seem like that's the only way, you know. If he was white, it wouldn't have just been her who died. It wouldn't have just been the guy. It would have been everybody. You know what I'm saying? Them white guys, man.
I just see the white guy.
We never expected him to kill his entire family. Well, what prompted it? She didn't make me a sandwich, Your Honor. Like something like doing some crazy amounts of violence, man.
I don't know. I see the white guy responding very emotional, very fearful, asking a lot of questions.
If he has a gun, all that emotion goes through the gun, and we all know who owns more guns in the United States.
Well, that's true.
I know people are getting shot, but I'm telling you, the media makes it seem like that. But one of the oldest stories, Romeo and Juliet, how many people died? Right?
Did I read that?
Romeo and Juliet. I mean, you've heard enough talk about it where you really didn't have to read it, but I mean,
when you say that, I saw Beyonce. Won't she in something like that?
What?
They did like a hip hop version, didn't they?
I think they did probably.
What?
That was Carmen, something like that.
Yeah, Carmen. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it pretty much the same thing?
I don't know. It sounds like
okay. So I have really fast before we get off. Let me ask.
I had one. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead because I've already talked. Go ahead.
Wait, no, you have a juicy one?
Oh, my mama said Carmen.
Okay. You have a juicy one? Go ahead.
So my question is this: do you have to have a title
Oh no, I shouldn't.
Do you have to have a title before performing any type of sexual act in any relationship that you are engaged in?
A title?
Yeah.
Like headmaster or something like that?
Like what?
No.
No, like girlfriend, boyfriend, you're my.
No.
You don't even have to know their name in most cases.
You don't even know.
So for y'all, you didn't have to like before. You didn't have to have a title to be in no type of like. You didn't care what you were. Nothing like. Let me just. I don't have to. You don't even have to know
Will's
my name.
face right now. Can we make that a meme?
For me, I can't perform unless there's a connection. So I gotta be feeling at least boo vibes. You know, like
okay. So let me be okay. So like sex. Okay, so performing oral sex. So do you have to have a title to perform oral sex on someone?
I said no to the general question. If we go detailed, I'm still saying no.
Okay.
That must be a girl guy thing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
What you say, Will?
It must be a girl guy thing. I think the views on those are different based on your gender.
Really? I don't even process that much.
I
that's interesting. So are you saying that it will be more the guy
who doesn't care
that would need a title or a more deeper connection to perform on a girl?
I don't need you to have a title. I mean, I could give you one real quick.
Yeah, that's what I said, boo. I just have to be feeling
real quick. Hold this. Yeah.
You know, I mean, women, a lot of our secretions and stuff are connected to our emotions. So I gotta be feeling boo vibes at a minimum, like boo bang vibes.
So but that doesn't mean you have a title. That means you just have feelings, right? That's not.
I'm in the same book with Will. I'm in the same book.
Okay, so we all disagree. Making love and sex type thing. You just having sex. Chanel, I think you're talking about the making love. You want to be
no. I can't have sex with nobody that I ain't.
Never in all your years doing.
You could be. Look, I mean, Shanika, I think if you say, "What do you need a title in order to engage in sexual activity?" regardless on the level of it, the answer is no.
Right.
As long as you have some kind of feelings for the person.
Okay, right. But not everybody. Is there anybody who feels like they need a title in order to be intimate? Whatever kind of intimate, like if you are making love, if you're effing, if you're whatever it is that you call it, want to call it.
Okay, so right. I think in general, as Will said, guy girl thing, stereotypically, a woman is not supposed to even enjoy sex and doesn't want to have sex, and they're
let alone,
right. We're going. It's like the stereotype traditional woman who doesn't have sex unless the man is committed, or else she'll be judged by the Council of Women and Morals, right?
And I think we have the wrong set on the show right now to really be honest, because they'll be shamed. They'll be shamed. They'll be looked at differently than if a guy like me, I don't give a shit.
You know what? I was talking to a friend the other day, and I brought that up. You know, men sometimes need to change the verbiage. For example, they want to always say she gave it up.
She gave it.
She didn't give you nothing. Sometimes the woman just got what she needed and wanted, and you just were the lucky one. They need to get themselves up off the little horses they done put themselves on, because they didn't give you. A lot of times, she didn't give you anything. She just took care of herself.
I mean, but I think that at the end, then is how you treat them. Is how you treat them at the end. Then, like, you don't lay around. If you there to get something, you don't make them feel like you gave it up. You get what you came there to get and get the hell out.
That's why I applaud like Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. Like I was saying last season, they're owning their power. If they want to do that, they're taking the shame away. They're taking the stigma away from them being sexual beings. Because people look at, like you said, they gave it up. Oh, I hit that, I took it, or whatever. No, Bitch, I wanted it and I got
Ray
it.
J, he hit it first.
Well,
Right.
let me tell you something. I'm gonna be transparent right now. I had somebody ask me why. You know what I said? I went the best man on him. I said because it was what I wanted
Mhm.
and what
Why
I
was he
needed.
the lucky
You
one?
remember when Monica Calhoun said because it was what I wanted?
Yeah.
Because it ain't got to do with you. Just
Right.
I'm gonna make sure you know
Exactly.
about me.
That part.
About me. That
Yeah.
part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good topic, Shanika.
Oh, she reading the comments.
Wow.
And okay, let me add on this. It depends on the person how well you like them. Because if you really like them, you're not gonna give it up. You're gonna wait for a title. If you really like them.
Yeah. I think that
If
makes
you
sense.
really like him, you need to wait for a title.
You better believe it. Let me tell you something. I don't get in sheets with nobody. I see a future bit. For a while. Long while.
That's what they say. Kevin Samuel says that about women.
Oh, I had a topic about him.
Yeah, that crazy dude.
Yeah. Did you see the one about Lonnie Love where he was talking about her?
He was talking with her.
No top shelf guy would want a girl like her.
What?
They would want it.
Okay, wait. Okay. You know what?
Next week. That's next week.
Yeah, next week we can talk.
Yeah.
And I want to know what like her is.
Yeah, it's like what you're thinking. They would want somebody like
big and black, like
they would want somebody like
and loud.
Gina Ma. What's her name? Jeannie Ma.
Jeannie Ma.
They would want somebody like her versus Lonnie.
Okay, and that's why she with a whole white man. That's why she with a whole white man. That's
next week though. Tune in next week.
Okay, wait. You have one more? We got time?
No. I'm gonna save all up for next week. No homework for me. I already got it done.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. We've helped somebody.
Yeah.
We don't really need titles. We've said happy birthday.
I got a juicy 3-party letter next week.
Woo!
Right.
So yeah, I think that
third party situation.
What, Shanika? What happened? Walter walked in?
I'm not even at home.
She's not even.
That's right.
She's on tour. Remember?
Yeah. So, but guys, thank you all so much for joining in. Thank you all so much for commenting. It's always a pleasure when you all chat with us and make our conversations unscripted, uncut, and unfiltered. Continue to share, continue to like, continue to follow. Our numbers are growing, and we really appreciate you all. So please make sure you come back next week for the same thing. We will definitely be here with more juicy topics. Amir, have a wonderful rest of your day. Everybody have a great week, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week.